What's up, guys? It's your boy J Mecha here with another deck tech for Penny Dreadful. This is Mono Blue Morph. So I want to give you a little history about um, my time in Magic. So I started around Tempest, and I usually played Standard. I was a super casual player, and I went to like a couple little tournaments here and there. Um, and I stopped around the original Mirrodin block because Affinity was just that awful. It was such a bad time, and it didn't actually start Magic again till all the way into like the Shards of Alara block. Like Zendikar just came out, and my roommates like had a bunch of cards, and it was on their kitchen table, and I just looked at the cards, I'm like, crap, I'm back. So because of that, I missed a gigantic portion of Magic. So when I read about Magic's history and everything, but like what the great decks are back in the day. Like, I mean, I missed stuff like fairies and all the stuff from like Kamigawa block, like how GTA was awful. But there's one deck that I always saw in the small history of time and time spiral block called Pickles. I never really knew what it meant. Like, deck names back then were really like non-descriptive, so you had like these weird names. So when I looked into it more, and the interaction is between Brine Elemental and Vesuvian Shapeshifter. So what happens is when you have a Brine Elemental out and you have a Vesuvian Shapeshifter that unmorphs, it copies the Brine Elemental and it gets the face up clause where it copies the creature and it gets the face up clause of not being able to have your opponent untap anything. So at first I just didn't realize what's going on, and I realized, wait, that works. So, and then I looked up Penny Dreadful stuff, and I was like, wait, there's a lot of really good morph cards. So right now, you probably could be better off being two colors, but I just want to be one color because there's actually, I think, enough support for being mono blue to try this out. So we're just going to run through the deck list real quick. Mana base, 24 lands, 16 islands, 4 Calciform pools, because a lot of this deck actually runs on instant speed, so when you don't have anything to do and your opponent really does anything on their turn, you can just kind of charge it up, and this actually like builds up really well. And finally, Temple of Mystery, the only actual dual land, doesn't really have a downside of them being tapped, but it is Scry 1, so it's kind of like a free roll in this deck, because all we have is blue spells. All our other morph creatures always do something. Fathom Seer draws 2 cards. Fathom Seer draws 2 cards when it's turn face up. Void Trends counters spells, and Willbender is kind of like a redirect. So this is pretty good against burn. This is good against control and burn, I guess. And this just gets you a ton of cards. And you play all these. The strategy is to play all of them face up. You want to play at least the first one face up. So if you get a shapeshifter out, then you can unmorph that into one of the cards you've already faced up. And to be honest with you, all these 2-drops, like, they have reasonable stats. This is a 1/3, so it's gonna block some stuff. Willbender's a 1/2. That's not bad. 1/1's not whatever. Filling out the 2-drops, think twice. Like I said, we played instant speed, so when you're not doing anything, drawing cards is good. Memory lapse. The 2-mana counterspell choice for me. More of like a tempo-ish plays. Feels more like a tempo deck than anything. Shaper Parasite, another awesome morph card. The only actual removal, quote unquote, in this deck. So give a creature -2, +2, -2, or -2, +2. So you can either bolster your defense or strengthen your offense at the cost of the other stat. So -2 with toughness on a creature is like the only thing we can really do. Forbid, because you can actually forbid lock people with Fathom Seer. If you have the Fathom Seer, you have like Fathom Seer, Shapeshifter, and with the Forbid, you're always gonna get like 2 cards, so you're actually gonna lock them out. It's kind of really funny. Dermoplasm is an interesting one. It's basically when you put the Dermoplasm face up, you can put a random morph creature into play face up, and it switches. They switch spots. So Brine Elemental being 6 is kind of like hard to deal with, but you can just kind of like take morph this on turn 3, unmorph this on turn 4, and then drop your Brine Elemental, and then after that drop your Vesuvian Shapeshifter on your turn, and you can just lock them out right there. So as quickly as turn 5. It's a pretty sweet card, so I'm waiting to see if I can just kind of like blow people out the water with that. Turnabout, the last kind of like quote unquote removal. I mean, tapping creatures is pretty good. Like, I'll probably have a hard time with like rush down decks, like hard aggro decks. So just tapping down a creature to return is like a kind of like a fog effect. Also, if you're not like tapping anything with Brine Element, if they're not tapping stuff because they're worried about Brine Elemental, so just tap the stuff for them, and then they won't get them to tap ever again. The sideboard, it's kind of put together. I would say it's like in a work in progress, but for now, I want to deal with the things that I think are going to worry me the most, like mono red, for example. They work on such a low curve, so I just jam 4 flash freeze here, wipe away. It's good for shrines. Just like it's one of the few uncounterable effects in this format, so it's pretty good in random places. And extra forbid for the control matchups. Just a little like another Voidwinds Apprentice, Willbenders. Museum Skin for those removal heavy decks. It's just like a 1-mana counter spell for the most part. And Arcane Lab because everybody wants to hit on Storm. So I'm really excited to try this out. So join me on this journey with Mono Blue Morph /Pickles / awesomeness.